if you could go into your fantasy draft with the exact same tools that all the fantasy experts use in order to win their leagues. Well, guess what? My name is Justin with Jauan Fantasy, and I'm inviting you to Fantasy Football Training Camp, a live virtual 2-day event where you have the opportunity to learn from analysts, former NFL players, betting experts, and a whole lot more. This is your chance to get real analysis and expertise live through panels, participate in mock drafts, and a whole bunch of other goodies. Make sure to get your ticket in the description below and join us at Fantasy Football Training Camp this August 2nd and 3rd. We'll see you there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Tyler, what's good, bro? You're back with another Jauan Fantasy episode. Mock Draft Monday. We are here for another one. Tyler, my man, how you living, dog?
Good. Excited to whoop you in some drafts again.
That never happens. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who got to the chat early, man, and showed some love. Make sure y'all show some love to the stream. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to have 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 500 likes on these videos before we start mock drafting. So make sure everybody smash the like button while you're here, man, and sub to the page if you are new. A couple updates, obviously, if you haven't got your ticket to Fantasy Football Training Camp, go ahead and get that. There's limited free tickets, and when I tell you you want to be there, this is one of the things, if you don't get your ticket and you hear about it later, you're going to be like, shit, I should have went, and I should have got it for free. So get in there. Me, I'm going to be in there. Tyler going to be in there. Make sure y'all get your ticket. Next part is we had some news happen today, Tyler. We had some news happen today and then over the weekend. First, let's get into it, though. Jauan Jennings. How do you feel about this? Because Jauan Jennings obviously said he wants to either get paid or get traded. Pay me or trade me. Those are the two options right now for Jauan Jennings. Had really a career year last year, just missed 1,000 yards. And, he's one of those players where he was kind of like this wide receiver 3-ish, 4-ish player on the Niners, and then elevated his role. And specifically last year, once Brandon Aiyuk got hurt, he's proven his value. He's proven he can be a guy that is reliable. But the team doesn't really need to pay him. You drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first. You just got CMC back. You got Kittle. And you're going to get Brandon Aiyuk back probably in the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season. I get Jauan Jennings and what he's trying to do. And I hope for his fantasy sake, he gets moved somewhere else. But it's an interesting dynamic because the Niners don't need him, and he's probably better off somewhere else. I don't think they pay him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense from his standpoint because he is 28 years old, and this may be the peak. Maybe that's what he's thinking as well. What happens if I have a down year? Like, I'm just going to kind of fade out here. So it makes sense that he wants to get paid. With that being said, though, I don't know if did he say he was going to hold out? I think he said he was going to report to camp, didn't he? Or maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know if he's going to report, but he better.
I think so. Well, we'll just have to kind of see what happens. I don't know. Do they start this upcoming week? I don't even know when the 49ers actually.
I think all teams are reporting this week and next week, so it's like it'll be interesting to see if he actually reports to camp and if he's wanting to be a part of the team.
I'm just kind of not. I guess I'm not very interested in him this year, just because I think last year was an outlier of a season. You look at his entire career, and then you really go in depth, look at all the games and everything, and really we've talked about this before. A large part of the production came in basically one game.
It was 2 games.
It was 2 games. So for me, I understand what he's doing. Get your bread, always get your bread, and I feel like this is a great time for him to try to do that. But we'll kind of see what happens here. It's play by ear, but I do think this kind of makes Ricky Pearsall interesting. Or if he gets traded, I mean, George Kittle to the moon. So we'll have to see what happens in training camp.
Yeah, the other players on the Niners obviously get a boom, and I think it makes Brandon Aiyuk even more valuable. I know he's going outside of the top 45 picks, which is to me insane. Probably getting a top 20 receiver when he plays at floor outside of the top 45 receivers. But yeah, Pearsall definitely gets more intriguing early half of the year. And I kind of think at the end of the day, I'm being honest with you, I'm not mad at Jauan Jennings to go get paid, but bro, you're Jauan fucking Jennings. You're not some superstar alpha receiver. You had a great year last year. I get this is your window to get paid, but also the Niners kind of made you, bro. It didn't have to be where you're you're fighting for this. So you signed a 2-year deal, got paid probably more than you should have 2 years ago. Just play it out. Play this year through, and if you're that good, go get paid by somebody else. Kind of like Kendrick Bourne did a couple years years ago with the Niners. Mm-hmm. He went and the Patriots paid him. So I'm not mad at Jauan Jennings. Listen, go get your bread by any means. Get traded, and hopefully you get a chance to shine. But sometimes you might just want to stick around for a little bit, finish out the year, have a good season here, and then see how it plays out. So for me, I'm kind of out on. I've been out on Jauan Jennings. I haven't really been drafting, even in the mocks. Haven't really been drafting him or Ricky Pearsall. I've been rather just opting to get like Kittle in the 4th or 5th round, or get Brandon Aiyuk, get one of the main cogs of this team. But now I think Ricky Pearsall, you talked about it. It's a little bit more intriguing because I think he'll have every week like wide receiver 3-ish flex value now. If he's still going outside of the top 40 after this, or like in the back end of that 30 range, I think he's even more intriguing, probably as like a top 30 to 36 receiver, a locked in wide receiver 3. Had some really strong games at times last year, Tyler. Like he had some big time performances, and this team was excited. They drafted him in the 1st round. Like I can see Pearsall probably being like a weekly wide receiver 3 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I like taking the chance, especially I like taking the chance this year. I mean, I'm okay with where he's going. It's not like he's expensive by any means.
Yeah.
And I think there's a decent amount of upside there.
We'll get into the mock draft here in about 5 minutes. Want to go over one more news item. Loco, shout out to you for getting to the chat early, bro. I'll go through some questions too before we get into the mock, and I'll post the link here in just a second. Is Quinshon Judkins' career over? Who is his replacement to target in Cleveland? Now, over the weekend, Quinshon Judkins reportedly was arrested. Well, not reportedly, he was arrested for some domestic disputes that he had. I guess he was on vacation. They came back from the vacation, and now he was arrested. So I think there's still more details that need to come out, unless you have something, Tyler, that I don't have detail-wise. I think there's more details that need to come out about the actual the incident, what the Browns' opinion on this is, and also probably hear from Quinshon Judkins, his side of the story. So I think until we have all of that, we get this a lot, right? We get some like impactful news. Rashee Rice, racing on the freeway. We get Ray Rice, in his domestic dispute. You get Alvin Kamara during Pro Bowl weekend getting into an altercation. Sometimes you need the details to come out before you panic and react to saying his career's over. The kid just got drafted. But I think as far as like this value, I'm waiting to see until we get more information if I'm taking Judkins or if he's suspended or career over. Sometimes they don't even suspend him until the next year.
Yeah, this is this one's rough. And it's kind of one of those things we do have to kind of play it by ear, but do I think his career's over? No. I mean, we've seen guys. I mean, Tyreek Hill has had a lot of run-ins with this, and he's still in the league. Yeah. I mean, you've seen Ray Rice, it was on video, was in the league. So, or not Ray Rice,
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt was the one. Hunt. His was on video, got cut by the Chiefs, was landed with the Browns. So I don't think his career is over. But I do, if I'm drafting this year for fantasy football, like I really like Quinshon Judkins, the player. But for this year in fantasy football, it's kind of like I don't want to say out. I didn't mind him for where he was going, but like I'm probably out here. And the reason being is just because there's definitely going to be a suspension at some point. And it may not come right now just because it is domestic abuse. He was arrested, and I believe he's out on bail. So
the only thing is sometimes these things take a while, Tyler. Like sometimes it gets to the end of the season and the players appeal, you know what I'm saying, and like push it out to the season.
I don't think that there's a whole lot of upside with Quinshon Judkins this year anyways. Like I think that he's a very good player, but the problem is like I never viewed him as maybe a full-time like a workhorse running back. Maybe like Sampson or Ford would be involved. So now this just kind of I'm just not really that interested. I do think like Dylan Sampson though, as like just a late dart throw kind of guy is interesting now. Because if he does get suspended, I do think that there's some upside, but he's also, we said this might get pushed later into the year. And then Dylan Sampson's kind of sitting there as the third running back. And how long are you really going to wait on the third running back? So maybe a guy who's like a priority, like a watch list type of guy that you're keeping an eye on throughout the year.
Yeah, I think Dylan Sampson has some PPR upside if he does play like that HN slot, kind of used as a second back type role. You also have Jerome Ford in this backfield as well. So it does get a little concerning with Judkins in case this is something that pisses the team off. You never know. I was really high on Judkins.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look, especially as a rookie. And I thought, with him being like the lead back, that he would have an opportunity at like 800 to 1,000 yards with like 6 to 8 touchdowns. I thought that was a realistic output for Judkins if he got the starting role. So I think if you're talking replacement, you got to look at Dylan Sampson. This is a player that I wouldn't start reaching for, and he's going to go way higher on underdog drafts right now. And in your league, somebody's probably going to snipe and think, okay, this is the guy that's going to take over the workload. I would err on the side of caution, and let's see how things play out because, like I said, sometimes the initial impact hits a little bit harder than the actual impact of it once we get to see this thing play out. All right.